Okay. Let's do it. Why won't men approach me? Try being a VTuber, sweetie. That's how you get men to approach you all the time.
Tell me why.
Holy
every day I go out,
honkers.
looking adorable, and yet nobody
She looks snatched.
ever hits on me or approaches me.
Because it's scary.
Undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
Is this real? No. This is what English taxpayers have to deal with? No, it's England. No, England's a real place. I like England, but damn, they need to get their shit sorted. They need to get their priorities straight. Isn't there like, you know, gangs that like prey on children over there? I've heard many things about that. It's not very nice. I think they should prioritize that, and then, you know, when maybe not do this with taxpayer money.
Seriously, what?
That's so bad. Catcallers are worse, yeah, clearly.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual,
Yeah,
before we
hell.
launch in, today's video is sponsored by American Finance.
Whoa!
And also, very important, I am going
American
on tour
Finances.
in October around the United States, 9 shows in
Gondola
different
tour.
cities. You should go buy tickets at the link in the description. Come see me live.
Of course, only one West Coast state.
It's going to be a little bit more personal than what I do on this channel, but still a lot of fun, and it'll be really cool to meet a bunch of you. There are VIP tickets available. They're a little bit more personal. We get to kind of hang out before the show. There are general admission tickets. There are meet and greet tickets. There will be specific tour merch that is pretty cool that I've been working on. So if I'm in your city, come and see
Seattle,
me,
gross.
buy some
I ain't
tickets,
doing
bring
that.
your friends, bring your mom, bring your dad, or whoever. I promise it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you. Okay, let's do the video. Now, I am positive that some of you saw this, but a couple weeks ago, 2 videos went viral on our favorite demented platform, Twitter. I am never going to call
Reddit.
it X. You can't make me. Basically,
I think Reddit is way more demented than Twitter sometimes.
both videos featured cute ladies who were lamenting that menfolk don't approach them when they're out in the world despite dressing and acting cute and sexy to attract said menfolk. One woman had seemingly just had a night out when you would think that the lads would probably try to hit on you.
I better pay
Oh, I remember this orange dress woman.
attention to me tonight. I'm so fucking sick of this shit. Oh my
Oh,
Touch a
God.
boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very fucking simple.
She's got some honkers. Holy.
Whereas the other woman
Damn.
was out on a run, which is maybe a less inviting environment. This is one.
Yeah, again, you're on a run? I thought the whole point is like, oh, women don't want to be approached while they're running because it's weird.
100% how men get sprayed in the face with bear mace.
Yeah!
I need you to spray me in the face with pepper spray for a bit.
You need to think of a better bit.
Based. Telling your woman that she's not funny. Very appropriate.
Why?
She does look cute! Damn,
Looking
bro!
adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever! Oh my.
Yeah, you scared him off. I'm sorry, lady. You do look cute. But her personality, I don't know, maybe she's just like venting. Like, again, I don't think she comes across as being that bitchy. I don't know. I'd have to talk to her more and get to know her, but like, it sucks. Maybe it really does suck. I don't go outside though.
My God, like please.
I ride a bike, so
I'll take a fucking construction
fast.
worker cat call at this point. Please.
Anyway, both clips attracted a ton of commentary and attention, and the commentary that was being expressed went in a couple different directions. The first and most obvious one was men saying that this is really the result of women for years telling them not to approach women, not to approach them. Then there were the women who were saying, yes, we do want to be approached, and it is up to
mixed signals, classic.
the men to do the approaching, and we
approach them, but do it the right way, with this list in mind, of course.
wish you guys would do it more. And then there were obviously the women who were like, I want to be left alone. Forever. Personally, I was left feeling a little bit demoralized by all of this and a bit disappointed in the
Why no one approach you doing stream? Because it's weird and there's a lot of people watching me and they can see your, you know, your message, and then people are like, that's not appropriate. Because, like, okay, I won't sugarcoat this, but, like, I'm everybody's in this instance. Like, I am the entertainer. I am here to provide you entertainment. If you approach me during stream, it's very weird and it's off-putting to, like, everybody else in the room, including me. It's not just, like, a one-on-one approach other than with that in mind. Also, Alana's gigafat. Yeah, but some people like that. What do you mean? Feeders? Hello? Come on. Get with the program.
Wars and how bad men and women are at interacting with one another. But on its own, with only these two clips as illustrating points, I really didn't feel like getting into this topic and then trying to make a whole video out of it because I wasn't really sure that there was all that much to say. But in my travels of the internet, I have come across two videos that also went viral recently that relate to the first two clips that I showed you. And now I have some things to say. In these viral videos...
Why are they wearing these things?
Surrey Police Department in England had female...
What is that? Is that like weights?
Officers go undercover as joggers to elicit catcalls. So they were doing all of this on purpose.
Why is it a crime to catcall someone? It's got pockets for phones. Oh, okay. Weighted
and then
vests.
they would use this as pretext to either talk to the menfolk about this inappropriate behavior or arrest them for harassment.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so...
I've been catcalled before, but, like, I didn't freak out and start fucking crying, man. This is so weird.
So prevalent.
And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are
Jesus Christ. There's no way. This is where taxpayer callers go. We could be using these for, like, actual crimes. Like, they have really high knife crimes over there. I'm not even being stereotypical. This is just a fact. I would say the exact same thing for American police officers. I'd be like, go fucking stop a shooting or something. Don't waste my taxpayer dollars on this shit, man!
beeped at, followed, or shouted at, pulling people over.
Who cares? Oi, lady, looking real nice there. And then they drive off and it's like, oh, you've got a license for flirting, mate.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they...
Okay, then why are you arresting them if they're not criminal? This is entrapment? I don't know how UK works. This is very, very, very sad.
They still need to be addressed. And of course, the people that are likely...
And this is why men don't approach women that are jogging. Again, I know this woman is in America, but, like, if I saw this and if I was a dude, and I'd be like, nah, fuck that. I'm never talking to a woman ever again. Why would I bother? I could get arrested. Are you serious?
To commit those kind of behaviours, you know, they may then go on to commit more serious offences or more serious behaviours.
According to the Telegraph, sorry...
Nah, that's crazy. I can't imagine living in a world like this. I'm sorry, UK smugglers, I'm sorry.
Police made 18 arrests for offences like sexual assault and harassment that seemingly have come about as the result of this.
For people to recognise that it's not right, it's not just a small act.
Dude, I'm sorry, you're acting like it's the same thing as being touched or something. You know what I'm saying? Are you putting down what I'm saying? It is a small act. Like, I understand persistent, like, crazy harassment, but this is not that deep, man.
It's a thing that can make someone feel really quite uncomfortable. So I think it's important...
That's life, man! That's the life of being a woman. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, life is uncomfortable. So women go outside, they can't run at night. Yeah, it's part of life.
It's a taking it so serious. It's one
This
of
is
our
the gross thing to do.
priorities.
Sure, but I don't think you should be arrested for it. Good lord.
And for me, that makes me feel proud to work for Surrey Police, because for me it's such a personal experience, and I know for a lot of other, if not all other women who experience it, so I feel empowered to be a part of such an operation.
So when
That's
I saw
crazy.
these
I don't
videos,
know,
and by
man.
the way, I
Can't
think
relate.
that this original campaign was posted about a month ago and only recently started going viral, so do with that information what you will. But like many people, I have some feelings about this, and
Sure,
I
go
wanted to
ahead.
take the opportunity
Don't
to
let me yap
express
over
them.
you.
This is good timing, because actually a bunch of people in the UK have been hitting me up recently being like, Sydney, will you please talk about the weirdness and the terribleness that's going on in our country? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, I will, Simon. But unfortunately, we're starting here. So let's start with this Surrey Police honeypot operation. And I think I speak for all of us when I say that I'm not so interested in honeypot operations, but I am interested in dealing with lovely mortgage lenders, which is why today's video is sponsored by American Financing. Now, according to my viewer metrics, a lot of you, like me, did the irresponsible thing of growing up.
What is a honeypot operation? It's a police sting. Where the police do a setup, and then if people respond to the setup, they arrest them. Because it's quote-unquote criminal activity. I still don't understand how catcalling is a criminal activity. I don't. Like, serial harassment, sure, but like, god damn, it's not.
And acquiring adult responsibilities. And one of those responsibilities is trying to manage your finances. This can be
Whoa, I
a
hate
stressful,
being an adult.
high anxiety thing for anyone to do. And in today's economy, the prospect makes me want to squeeze my Mr. Snuggle Bear real tight. But fear
Holy
not, my
millennial
lovely
energy.
viewers, because American Financing is riding
That's
to your
power.
aid like a knight. That's really
I can't criticize, though. I have a plushie.
good at financial stuff. American Financing is a family-owned mortgage lender that won't just help you get the loan that you need to buy a house, they're also magicians that will help you manage high-interest debt. And what's more, you can actually trust American Financing because their consultants are salary-based, so they have no incentive to bait you into a loan that only helps
Improve
themselves.
your credit!
It is all tailored to
I need
your
that.
needs. And I mean, they don't even have any hidden
need
or
loans
upfront
to
fees.
buy a house
and
to
just
put all the
look at all
boo-boos
these
in.
awards.
True.
What even is this
Yeah,
place?
boo-boo.
And best of all,
I need to learn
customers
from the
report an
boo-boo.
average saving of $800 a month with American Financing,
Wow.
who at this point have helped hundreds of thousands of homeowners. So you know that they're like,
Why did she say it like that? I thought she was gonna say a bunch of homos. I was like, Cindy, you can't say that. She sounded like she's gonna say Say the way she says homeowners.
really good at this. So if you're like me, a
Her
fellow
pronunciation
home-buying
is
human
funny,
being, and
dude.
you're ready to give up your Mr. Snuggle Bear, then call
dude.
American Financing
Holy shit,
today on
Sydney.
888-841-1319. That's 888-841-1319.
888.
Or of
Wow.
course, click the link in the description or go to americanfinancing.net/Sydney. The stated goal from these cops in their own press release is to make women feel safer in public
that's
spaces
fine,
and
sure,
demonstrate to
but-
men that creepy, threatening behavior is a no-go. And that's honestly something that I just
You need to
overall support.
clarify,
I don't
man.
think that either sex should feel uncomfortable out in the world.
Yeah.
And as far as catcalling goes, for years there have actually been many initiatives to stop it. And I can absolutely see both sides of the aisle.
I totally get behind it. Absolutely, there is absolutely a bias for women not being able to go outside, go for a jog, especially at night, and not getting harassed. I totally understand that. That's a gender thing. But where do we draw the line? Where does we draw the line for this shit?
I know the vast majority of men probably can't relate to this because I am quite certain that it doesn't really happen to you very regularly, but catcalling is annoying at best and
Yes.
downright actually threatening at worst. I
Yes.
have known women and had friends who have had disgusting, vile things shouted at them from vehicles. I've known women who have been followed
have.
home or followed for blocks by creepy men and just made to feel generally
People are
unsafe
gross
out in
everywhere.
life. In my personal experience, I have very distinct memories of having this group of friends that I would hang out with, and sometimes after school when we were sort of between 13 through 16, we would walk to the shops from school, from high school, and we would get catcalled all the time. And I remember then thinking, This is creepy. I was a young teenage girl in my school.
Yeah, I walked home one day, and I think I was like 15 years old, and there was just a bunch of guys, or I'd probably say like 18 years old, they were catcalling and shit. It was fucking weird. I was like, ew, you're adults. You behave like this? Ew. You're nasty.
Uniform, for goodness
Never
sake.
happened again,
Actually,
but still.
No, that one checks.
In my school uniform of all
considering
things,
what
like,
the
ew.
most popular adult content is on the internet. So,
Yeah.
seriously though, talk to the women in your life and you will realize just how many of them were catcalled as teenagers, and not even when they're 16, 17, 18. I mean like 12, 13 when you're a potato, so do with that information what you will. I also think with catcalling there is a huge difference between simply telling a woman that she's beautiful or attractive and then leaving her alone and doing things like this.
Well, what do they usually say to you?
Oh my god, what do they not say?
Carpet match the curtains.
The fries come with that shade.
I'll straight up fuck you.
Anyway, so all of those creepy, uncomfortable experiences really do stick with you. And that's, I guess, why I can understand why some women are looking at the Sorry Police initiative and thinking, this is good. This is a step in the right direction when it comes to making public spaces safer for women. But when I think about this a little bit deeper, when I really dig into it, I think that this is a little bit more nuanced than that. I don't see this issue as terribly black and white. I think that there are certainly shades of gray. And I think this is where it ties back to the...
When you have the government dictating what is and isn't acceptable, like what if some guy drives past you and says, hey, little lady, you look real pretty today, and then they drive off. I wouldn't say that's as bad as someone following you around and harassing you. But would you want to prosecute the guy that drove past him and didn't do it again? I don't know.
Those original clips
probably
that
not.
I
I
showed
would
you at
hope
the very
not.
beginning of this video. Like I said, Sorry Police are essentially
There's
carrying out a
nuance to it,
sort of
absolutely.
honeypot operation, setting up a scenario to bait men into behavior that's then punished. Men are already nervous about approaching women, I think. They second guess their moves. They're worried about being misread. Now add the fear of a literal sting operation.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine living like that.
Imagine a guy working up the courage to tell some cute woman passing by that she looks beautiful, and then the next thing he knows, he's got a cop in his face telling him he said some no-no words. And I'm not super sure that initiatives like this are capable of making the distinction between...
And it's not like a woman ran up to a cop and said, dude, this guy's harassing me. It's a cop taking it into their own hands without knowing the context. Like, how would you know what they said?
Between something that is innocuous and genuinely complimentary and someone being an actual risk. And they couldn't possibly, because, let's be real, you don't know the intention of the person doing the catcalling until they're either walking away from you, asking for your phone number, or trying to drag you into their van. And because of this unfortunate reality, these initiatives basically risk casting a uniform net over any man who approaches any woman in any context, and I think that's really sad. Again, I don't think a ton of men can relate to this, thankfully for you guys, but, as a woman and for a lot of women, I think that in this context, we do kind of have to assume that any man approaching us is a threat until proven otherwise. And that's not based around, like a man-hating thing. It's rather just that as the weaker sex, you do have to be careful about who is around you and who's in your surroundings. And that's why a lot of women go for runs with weapons or with pepper spray.
Or their buddies so that there's another woman. Yeah. Or another man. I don't know. Maybe you have a brother or sister.
Spray or...
Depends.
They let people know where they're going, because there's a lot of women who do go out on runs who don't come back. But for men, and I think this is also really sad, this feeds into the exact fear that is stopping men from approaching...
Anybody who you approach and a woman's interested in you is a federal agent.
women in the first place, and it's a fear that is feeding into the things that the women in the initial clips were lamenting. So I vote that we take all of the creepy men and we put them into the arena, and there they will fight to entertain the masses with their very lives. Well, I don't know where that came from. Then there's also this massive issue here, which is policing priorities. The UK wants to allot resources to catcall stings, but actively ignores actually serious crimes. Judges in the...
That's what I said at the start, man.
country routinely let fans of the playground walk free for some absolutely insane reason. Harassment, SA, and the like, particularly when it involves foreign nationals or when it...
And this happens in America too, except it's Roblox, and Roblox is the one letting them go. Yeah.
Revolves around grooming gangs, which are well documented, literally gets less attention. Take the grooming gang scandals in places like Rotherham or Telford, for example. Thousands of girls and women were victimized, and the authorities dragged their feet for years on this.
And they silenced them too, if I remember correctly.
And when they did finally act, it was absolutely too little, too late.
I don't understand why this is such an issue, and to be completely honest, it's kind of infuriating that this is happening because it's causing like these layers upon layers of retardation and actual racism because they're fucking this up so bad. Why the frick are you not locking up the grooming gangs? Why are you not locking up the grooming gangs? Why are you pretending it's not happening? You are literally causing the problem you're trying to prevent. Like, let me explain. They're afraid of being labeled as racist because a lot of the grooming gangs are migrants or foreigners, and the migrants are generally non-white people. And your first thought is like, well, how do you know that? And the answer is simple. If it were white people forming the fucking gangs, they'd be arrested instantly. So with that knowledge in mind, how you know that the police are not arresting well-documented grooming gangs that have been around for years because they don't want the racism to ramp up in the country. So you turn on your brain for 1 second, and you fucking retards are creating more racism, layers of racism, because now, not only do the people in your country continue to see an example after example of terrible things happening to these little girls, committed by the usual suspects that they label, right? But they also see that you're unwilling to arrest them, which makes them think there's like a two-tier justice system, and there are terrible people of every skin color, man. It makes them more racist, man. And this garbage makes people so upset. And there are people that are bad apples of every race and every skin color. And then they don't arrest them, and it makes everything even worse. I think about the close friends in some cases that are that are borderline family in my life that aren't white. And even people like some of my mods, my artists, and the viewers in my stream who aren't white. And I think to myself, there is a possibility that these people that I care about are going to experience amped up racism because the dumb people, the dumb fucks in power across the pond in the UK that have sands in their vaginas refuse to lock up freaking grooming gangs because they're scared of being labeled as racist. This is so pathetic. It kind of just blows my mind. Just a bunch of neutered men and women on soy diets in government and law enforcement letting Karens destroy the country. It's just really, like, upsetting to me. Again, like, one of my artists, Gerver, like, he's of Middle Eastern descent, and I think to myself, like, yeah, there's people out there that have, like, racist biases because they experience something like that. It's like, and they might have, like, a hard time, like, living their life. Exactly. Like, what is going on in this country, man?
Now, people continue to act like this isn't a huge, pervasive issue. Yet we've got police jogging around to catch...
And they're silencing them.
A whistle? Are you serious? So it's really not all that hard to see this as a massive misallocation of effort. Unpleasant, icky catcalling absolutely sucks, but it is nowhere near on the same level of systemic abuse. So the question becomes, why focus on...
And it makes people doubt the government and their decision-making, and it makes people restless, and makes people become even more wary, and in turn it actually creates more xenophobia.
This seemingly low-hanging fruit when there are much bigger fruits to be picked. This disconnect absolutely fuels distrust, and as a result you have good men, and I think that's an important distinction, good men, because good men don't act like pigs, who are feeling fearful and targeted, and then you have women who are also feeling fearful and unheard. Meanwhile, the absolute schmoes who deserve to be in prison are slipping through the cracks. It's like we're fighting over all these gender war scraps while all these absolute psychopaths walk around unencumbered. And I don't like it, Simon. I don't like it at all. So there
was a girl in the shot here. She said that she was consistently being silenced. I forget where it is. Well, at any rate, one of the shots here with the one that was sitting in front of the camera with the two people talking in the Sky News, and she said she was unironically getting investigated. Like, why? What did she do?
Broader point
She's just
of
bringing
men
it
not
up
approaching women who want to
it
be
happened
approached.
to her.
I think what we are currently seeing from modern society is pretty bad right now, and I think it is negatively affecting both men and women. I think a lot of men, by their nature, are pursuit hunters. So back when we were taking down prey with nothing but pointy sticks and a dream, men would pursue prey for miles until it got too tired to resist and served itself up for din-din. So, and not to use like kind of a weird example, but I think men sort of pursue women in a similar fashion by nature. They see a woman that they like, an antelope, a gazelle, if you will, and then they will continue to woo and court her until she sees him as a competent and compatible mate. Where
Biology,
she will
am I
then
right,
serve
fellas?
herself up for din-din. The thing is, and obviously I can't speak for all women, we are by no means a monolith. We don't all think the same or feel the same, but I do think that a large portion of women do like to be pursued and like to see men doing the pursuing, because it probably indicates that there is a level of deeper connection and desire.
And desire to fucking improve yourself and put in effort, yeah. Men sacrificing stuff for you, you know.
That men have that will see women cared for and protected really for the rest of our lives. And I think that's really noble and really honorable and really nice. And you guys are welcome to disagree with me as much as you like, but I do think that a lot of this is innate. I do think it's inbuilt. And, you know, as much
Alana can run. Not in the literal sense. No, pursuit, like, it's a stupid... I don't want to say stupid, but it's like a biological desire for, like, a woman to be like, okay, you want to keep courting me, you know? Yeah, you gotta keep trying, boy.
We have
that's like a thing with girls.
Probably a good couple decades
Not saying
of
all girls, some girls.
Trying to disrupt, I guess, biological conventions. I don't think that we're gonna get around some of these components because, like I said, I think they're inbuilt. And this is probably why you see women who are very upset that no man will approach them when they're out on the town or when they're...
I played enough gotchas to understand 0.0% is big enough. Playing and dating a woman is like playing gotcha. What?
They're out on their run, displaying their jiggle physics.
Whoa! Her titties.
This is some really good tea. Men pursuing women isn't a bad thing. It's literally step one of the propagation of our species. And
then women don't know how to approach them, man. You're like flirting back and forth. This is also just a miss their flirting. I wouldn't even go that far. It's like a courting thing where it's like, oh, you know, like I might want to go out, I might not, and the guy has to like do this silly little dance of trying to understand and tote the line between like, is she actually interested in me, and reading signals, which is difficult to do when women put forth the idea that if you make any move on them at all, it makes it more difficult. Yeah, women are hard to get, and they like playing that game.
Fulfillment of deep-seated natural instincts. But the aforementioned social disruption by modern ideological nonsense has created a serious issue by making a very natural occurrence that benefits both parties a punishable act. There's no nuance here. All pursuit is bad pursuit. Decent men not approaching women these days is not really born out of some random caution. I think there are myriad reasons why men stay away. For one, the social climate in...
I don't know if she'll address this or not, but there's that really famous comic that people reuse constantly, and it's like a woman sitting in an office and she's picking up the phone, and then an attractive guy is like, hey, beautiful, and she's like, oh, hi, and then in the next shot it's her answering the phone and it's an ugly guy that's fat, and then he says, hey, beautiful, she's like, human resources, yeah. That is absolutely a fucking thing now. Yeah, Riz versus sexual harassment, yep.
Recent years has changed drastically. In the past, a man could go up to a woman at a bar or somewhere out in public and strike up a conversation and not be sweating bullets. Now, from what I understand, a lot of guys feel like every single move that they make is under a microscope. The Me Too movement, for all of its
the social media ruined that, absolutely.
faults, did expose some credible predators, but one of its fallouts was leaving men with a lingering fear that innocent actions will be misread or misinterpreted. Secondly, today it doesn't help that everything is documented 100% of the time. A single awkward interaction.
Oh, these fake gym videos. Like, I know there's people that get harassed in the gym, but there's a lot of them that are like, oh, this guy glanced at me because, like, I was moving my ass a little bit. Oh, man. Ugh. I'm just getting harassed. It's like, you're filming yourself at a gym, man. You're already cringe as is.
Could end up on Twitter or TikTok. Like we've seen.
I never understood the whole filming yourself at the gym thing. You're in a public space. Like, not everybody can consent to it either. It's just weird.
Seen with all of these gym videos where women make
public
a
space
glance or a normal interaction seem creepy and predatory when it really isn't. And so,
bro,
creepy and predatory.
Oh, I thought she was straddling her. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought she was straddling her. I was like, you don't want people to look? No, she's just sitting next to her.
When it really isn't. And social media doesn't just judge, it broadcasts to millions of people who are only getting a sliver of the actual story, but turning into raging lunatics over it anyway. This video was probably going to end here, but then I thought of more things that I wanted to add. So I am recording on a different day, although I have tried to make myself look the same for continuity purposes, but it's not the same. It's a different day. So I just wanted to acknowledge that in case any of you are like, why does she suddenly look different? It's because I'm a different person today. The irony for me is that I don't like how my hair or makeup looks in this video, but I had to do the same thing for continuity purposes. So yeah, back to the topic. The issue here too is that there's really no way of knowing which women are open to advances and which women are going to feel threatened. And when it comes to this issue, I actually really empathize with decent normal men. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They might approach a woman and she might think that they're being a creep, or they might ignore a woman and then she feels invisible. But from the woman's vantage point, and the thing that often gets lost in this conversation when it comes to this specific criticism, is that I would argue the majority of women have been threatened at one point or another in their life. So this unfortunate and sad sense of unease that a lot of women feel and experience definitely makes sense. When I first started...
I'm a very anxious and self-conscious person, even though I have pretty much no reason to be. It's just how I grew up. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I've been called naive for that. So, I don't know. It kind of goes both ways. I feel like you just have to be an adult and, like, give people the benefit of the doubt, even if you have, you know, I don't know, experiences or you have high anxiety. Like, just, like, chill the fuck out. Don't overthink everything.
Making videos, I probably would have had a different series of thoughts and commentary about this, but I think the older that I get, the more that I realize there is unfortunately a portion of men who ignore boundaries and do approach women with this entitled aggressive behavior that in turn ruins everything for the normal guys who just want to ask a woman.
And again, it's the same thing with crazy women. We see so many people on social media that are crazy Karens and crazy girls that everybody starts thinking, oh my god, why do I would even approach women, and why are all women like this, when it's an oversaturation of that, and it makes you think that it's all the time. Or it happens all the time, excuse me.
Woman on a date or tell her that she's pretty. And it also ruins it for the women who want to meet that nice normal guy who wants to be protective and caring and loving. It's like this group of creepy, terrible people is ruining it for everybody else. Oh,
so just watch VTubers. There's solving your problem right there.
That's basically
don't get
how it is
hurt.
with every issue. Wow. So I have also thought a lot about how we deal with this issue without resorting to police officers basically baiting men on the street. And one of the things I've landed on is good, strong men policing terrible men. But even that is basically borderline impossible to do these days, because when good, protective men do step in, they're the ones who often get arrested.
That's true. Yeah. I've seen that too, man.
Will never not be frustrating to me. This very recently happened on a train in London where a man exposed himself to passengers.
In front of kids too? Oh my god.
And then a bunch of Englishmen took him down, and they were the ones who were arrested. The same goes for Daniel Penny.
In the UK, man.
Penny here in the United States. For those who don't know, Penny, who is a former Marine, basically intervened on a New York subway train car when
I've
a
heard of
man
this,
was threatening other passengers. Penny restrained the man, who passed away, not from the restraining, just to be clear, but for other reasons that I'm actually not sure of off the top of my head. Anyway, instead of being hailed
Was he
as
sick
hero,
or something?
Penny instead faced very serious legal consequences and public backlash. And when I say legal consequences, I mean, you know, he was like looking at a sentence that could have put him in prison for a
it was drugs.
very long time. Personally, I think
That's
it's
crazy.
pretty screwed up that socially men who act appropriately are punished for their good intentions.
And then people make videos as well and say like, oh, look at this woman getting harassed and nobody's doing anything. It's because they're scared. It goes both ways, man.
And we aren't even meaningfully addressing the terrible ones here.
That dude had like 47 arrests, by the way. What? How do you have 47 arrests and you're not in jail? I beg your pardon. Excuse me?
Punishing men who actually have good intentions to help women, obviously. But
okay, 2 times I'd be like, yeah, okay, maybe he's just like, I don't know, he's unlucky or something. 47?!
People too
Double
isn't actually
digits?
helping women if the only people not being punished are the ones who need to be punished. It's so annoying because all of this basically amounts to virtue signaling at the expense of women, but not actually doing anything to help us. So yeah, whoever designed this current system at play, whoever pushed for it.
It's like the Roblox thing with Schlapp. Schlapp would put people behind bars and then 2 weeks later, when they're being released by the police or he reports it to Roblox, they're just back on the game again. It's like, why did I even bother? Why did I even bother proving that they were doing a crime and they got arrested and then they just get let go and they get back on the game?
It has successfully made it so that men don't want to approach women, which is making women feel unwanted and lonely and honestly not super protected. Again, socially, we are punishing good men's protective natures, which in turn leaves women more vulnerable to bad men. And you know, speaking of the bad men, I am sure that they are loving these developments and probably feel emboldened by them, because if there are no good men who can step in and stop other people being victimized because they are being handcuffed both figuratively and literally.
Weak men create hard times, man.
What do you think happens in that context? It leaves the bad men to become worse, Simon. That's what. Not to wheel out the women most affected meme, but, you know, women most affected.
Because they're the weaker sex,
really
yeah.
Make me sad because
Physically.
these issues are absolutely way more nuanced than just this black and white thinking that typically comes out when people are discussing them. But I think, you know, one of the bottom lines here is that creeps and psychopaths are the ones who end up benefiting the most because of all of this weird socio-political flexing that goes on with relation to this topic. As a woman and as a member of the fairer sex, can I completely understand why women are very sad with men not approaching them and talking to them and asking them out in appropriate settings? Yes, absolutely. That was my like entire dating life. Men didn't talk to me, but that's also probably because I'm really tall and I have a
She's a yappy. She's a yapper.
resting bitch face. Maybe.
I can see that. I can see that.
Why men don't really want to approach
She's
women
self-aware,
these days?
chat.
Yeah, I do actually. I get it. Do I understand?
I'm of Russian descent, therefore I have a resting bitch face. Oh, we're lagging. Okay, just wait a minute. It usually sorts itself out. Hold on a minute. Hold on.
And why women don't want to be catcalled on their runs or when they're walking home from school as a teenage girl? Yes, absolutely I do. But do I also think that people should be arrested for catcalling? Probably not if it's innocuous. But again, you have people who take it too far, who make it creepy, who make it beyond creepy, who make it dangerous and threatening, and that's where my issue is. I'm not super certain of what overall point I wanted to make here and leave you all with. I'm not even sure that I have one. I saw the
social media needs to get destroyed.
Sorry police thing, and I really wanted to weigh in on it. And then I guess the secondary thought that I have that I don't want to get into is I would love to be a fly on the wall when these coppers realize the primary demographics that are doing the catcalling and who is the most risk to women. And then how quickly they will shut the initiative down when they do that, when they realize that. So I guess if I have a final thing to say here, it is this. I feel very sad about the fact that interactions between men and women have been so eroded. And I feel sad about all of the normal people from both sexes who are being caught up in all of the stupidity. Dating is not easy for either sex for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
And the more that we add social pressure to situations, I think
she doesn't have a solution.
Turn out. I don't really want to see a bunch of gender bashing in the comments because I don't think that unilaterally one sex is to blame over the other.
There's a catcall etiquette. Don't catcall women. They still have to walk past you. Damn! Wait, I didn't even think about that. You're right. Yeah, if you get catcalled and it's like from a distance and you can just walk away, like, yeah, that's way better because at least you don't have to interact with them directly. As opposed to like you're already walking to them and then you're like scared. You're like, oh shit, I have to walk past them. Ugh.
But I do think that we can direct a lot of our ire at the freaks and the weirdos who make it hard for everybody else. So in the end, I am not certain how we fix this, but I am positive that having an open, honest dialogue about these things is definitely a step in the right direction. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out American Financing using the link in the description. If this is something that you are struggling with, finances are hard, trust me, I know. Definitely check them out, give them a call, see if they might be able to help you. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? I'm a little scared of your comments, guys, for this video. Do you think
the solution at this point is for women to go up to the men in a public space? Yeah, but women aren't like built to do that. That's the problem. You're asking for something that women biologically and innately do not know how to approach men. They are not the sex that have been approaching the other sex for thousands of years. It's just like how women are. They're not built that way. Then change? Men changed. Men haven't changed. They just said no more. I can't do this anymore. Changing it means that you change the behavior. You didn't, like, stopping a behavior isn't exactly changing, I don't think. Yeah. Men are forced to change. I mean, changing is like a strong word. I wouldn't say stopping approaching women, is it?
That the Sorry Police initiative is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it completely insane?
Uncommon Alana L. Y'all gotta learn we all die ATP. You're asking for a behavior biological change that hasn't been around, that has been around for thousands of years. We already have proof of that because people would rather approach AI at this point. Sorry, that's why birth rates are in the decline everywhere, because women are like, fuck this, because we were not taught, we were not biologically programmed to approach the other sex. There are exceptions to the rule, of course, but that's just not how women work. Sorry.
It's overkill, it should not be happening. Do you think that actually there's some tangible benefit to doing this, to stopping people from catcalling? Do you think that catcalling is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it innocuous? Is it threatening? Are you a woman who was catcalled as a young teenager and kind of creeped out from that? What do you guys make of the perspective that a lot of women have that they're not being approached when they're out? Do you think that this is because men are too fearful to approach them because they don't want to be misperceived? Do you think that it's because women have created a rod for their backs?
I also think there's a big factor to social media affecting real life, because why you don't have the practice of fearing rejection, whereas when you didn't have social media or phones and you had to do it face to face, you eventually get desensitized physically to the rejection, as opposed to you getting rejected and just moving on the phone and swiping right and left or whatever. Yeah, I think that's also a really, 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 really big factor. I think 2020, like COVID, really fucked that up.
Feel bad for the women in these cases because they're probably not even the ones who started all of this. They're too young to have been a part of the earlier movements that led men to this point. And what you generally make of this issue overall. As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well as leaving this video a like and a comment because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Of course, my little chickadee noodles, I hope you stay safe and well and make good choices in the interim, and I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.
That was a good video. Thank you, Sydney. Go check her out. She does a lot of videos. Lots and lots of videos. Getting HR and cops on your ass is never fun. There have been so many cases of men being vindicated after being called horrible things and being accused of harassing women, and it turns out that they were innocent all along, but their entire life is ruined as a result of that. I've seen it happening at Blizzard at least 3 to 4 times now. Or maybe it's 2 to 3 times. The guy that was the voice actor for Kael'thas and a couple of other characters, and I think Swifty got accused of harassing or I think it was like talking to an underage girl, and they took that at face value, removed all of his associations with Blizzard, uninvited him from BlizzCon and everything, and then it turns out it was all just fake. Like multiple times had that happen at the company because they just completely rip out everything and then they just ruin their life. Yeah, they didn't apologize. No, they removed all the characters that were dedicated to them. They changed the voice actors. Yeah. Same for Kick Vic. Yeah.